All right, the property prequel, be in the know before you buy. The Crossman, how are you?
Srams, I'm well, mate. How you going?
Yeah, very well, very well. It's an interesting time. We spoke around it last week in our deep dive, and mate, there's been plenty of chit chat and whatnot, which we'll get into in next week's ep as well. It's very topical: interest rates, election, sentiment, the way the market's moving. It's a really, really interesting time, isn't it?
Mate, it is, and looking forward to obviously having a chat with our guest today who'll provide some great insights. But it's a very interesting time right now. If you look back historically, things that are happening now have happened before, and then hopefully that should give...
It's up and down. There's left turns, right turns.
History does tend to repeat itself.
That's why I was really excited around today's guest, who's got experience in the games, so to speak, which we'll touch on in a sec. But just quickly... Mate, we're getting sponsorship deals. What's up? How good's this?
Unbelievable.
Right,
sign our first big deal.
Nah.
It's mate, it's good. It's obviously probably 14 episodes in.
Yeah.
This might be. So yeah, probably the traction surprised both of us early days. So yeah, super appreciative to everyone that sort of listened and people that are sharing it. And obviously feedback is we're adding a lot of value, particularly in that. I think in that 28 to 45 age bracket or demographic, I think was a big one.
Yeah.
Which again is the whole purpose of starting it was to help buyers to educate them, as you know. So, and I know like you've been looking at some of the stats. Yeah, they're pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah. As I said, the purpose of this is just to try and add value and also for us to learn off the guests as well. We're both property guys, but I had my team just check out some of the analytics and very surprised and really appreciative. So. Bit of gratitude to all those who are listening and sending the DMs and some feedback. We had some really good feedback on last week's ep around some strategies with chatting to agents and stuff. So had a few messages around that, which is cool. So if you want any topics covered, just reach out. But mate, in terms of today's guest, so we love a sport analogy, mate. We've signed a big one.
It's a big one today. Jonathan Thurston joins us. Rugby league analogy.
Well, if you put it in the Dally M, so this guy, we got Australasia's number one agent. So not just the Gold Coast, Queensland, but Australia was voted number one agent on not just sort of sales, but also from the way they run their internal business. REB, real estate business, probably one of the biggest, partners of the real estate industry. Top 10 agent in there for Queensland, Gold Coast, probably top 5, I'd say, up there. And probably the biggest thing, Crossy, is stalwart of the game as well, not just fresh up and coming. He's done this year on year. So stoked to welcome Troy Dowker to the couch. How are you, mate?
Very, very well, boys. Very good morning.
What about the intro? Did I cover all the awards? I know there's a few.
Oh, mate, there's a few more on the cupboard. But
we got plenty of time, mate. Get them out there.
Who's counting, mate? Yeah. Who's counting? Mate, I guess today's going to be a good one, mate. Obviously, me and Crossy spoke about it. We obviously get a lot of agents listening on this show, so it'd be good to just chat quickly on how you've done what you've done, not for 1 year or for 5 years, for a long time, but also around the market as well and some value for buyers. So, mate, just for how long you been an agent for, like in the industry?
Yeah, I started in October 2003 with the Ray White Group. Yeah, so it's my 19th year this year. So yeah, it's been a fairly long career, and it's gone very, very fast actually. Like time flies, as you know, when you're having fun. So it's 19 years in now.
Unbelievable. And Dax, what were you doing before you got into real estate? Because I know you got a strong surfing background. Everyone, Southern End Gold Coast, knows you're a very good surfer as well. So were you in the surf industry before that?
Yeah, I did. I did a bit of competing through the mid-90s, a little bit of travelling overseas, not on a professional level. I wasn't quite right there, but surfing's certainly a big part of my life. And when I left school, I did a plumbing apprenticeship.
Right.
So,
geez, you really missed a chance there.
Mate,
you've blown it.
Mate, I did my hamstring on my first week. I think. But if I had an award for the world's worst plumber, I would have won it. Yeah, it wasn't my forte. So there's little real estate hands.
Yes,
It's pretty soft.
Yes.
So I did that, but what that sort of gave me some good building nous.
Yeah.
And that especially comes in handy now with obviously selling property, you know. So that's been good. It was great education going through a 4-year plumbing apprenticeship. Went overseas for a few years, traveling, surfing, snowboarding, having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I came back from overseas, that was late 1997. My older brother Brett got married, and we had a family seafood business down on Kennedy Drive at Tweed Heads, Scales. With a wholesale factory at the back. And
you guys had that?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah.
And so father, son, I was helping Dad, and that worked well for a fair few years, couple of years, and we sort of, like father, son, we sort of butted heads after a while, but learned a lot there too, and then got into the surfing industry with retail with Brothers Nielsen for a couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
And then in 2003 sort of went and did my real estate license and started in October 2003 with Ray White.
What made you sort of think real estate? Like what?
I was inspired by a couple of mates of mine from who I was working together at Brothers Nielsen. They left and then I sort of got a broader picture of it and did a bit of research, and there was it was an exciting industry and I wanted to learn more and improve the business acumen, and I got quite stale in surfing retail, so I was just ready for a new challenge.
And were you there, Brothers Nielsen? Obviously, they ran into some financial trouble, didn't they? Just correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just trying to think back over those years. Were you around during that time, or was that a bit later?
Yeah, we were.
Yep.
Yeah, I left just sort of maybe my sales. I left and their sales went down. But no, they were. I've got a lot of respect for the family there, and they did really well over a long period of time. But yeah, they sort of they folded. I think within a couple of years after I left. I think it was about 2005 thereabouts.
Okay, and then so you're fresh. So how old are you coming into Ray White first year?
And I'm 49 next week.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So what's that? What age
73 model.
73 model. Yep.
Yeah.
So what age would you be starting if you're 19th year?
I started when I was 30.
30, yeah, okay, yeah. So it's a really good, I guess, right there to sort of say there's a lot of agents 19, 20 who are getting frustrated. They're not, and Dowk started at 30.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's a really good starting point. And then, mate, when did you, how were those first few years? Because I know chatting to a lot of agents out there, young and old, who are fresh in the industry, before you get rocking and rolling. It's a tough grind. Anyone who, we've both been in real estate sales, no one realizes how long did it take you before you felt like, okay, I'm going to stay in here. And how did you feel those first few years?
Yeah, look, the first few years weren't very financially rewarding. I think it's everything, you reap what you sow, So I was traveling, I was surfing, going away on holidays a lot, and I lost a lot of momentum. I always find in this game, momentum is key. Once you get your business up and running and you get that momentum, you become an unstoppable force, So the real catalyst for me was, 2006, my wife, Caroline, got pregnant and I knew I had to provide for a family. So that was really the catalyst for me to pull my finger out and have a good crack. So
interesting to starting in 2003, Dowks, because I know my father opened a real estate business in Chugan actually in 2002. LJ Hooker Chugan took over from, I think it was Harcourts down there at the time. Anyway, my point is, as you know, mate, that was boom times, 02, 03, 04, 05. Basically, things doubled down the end of the southern end of the Gold Coast.
Yep.
Interested to get your take, and I know you said travelled and probably went away surfing and stuff, but starting off in boom times, it's actually all you know, and then the market changes. So, and you've probably got the benefit of starting as a 30-year-old, but for the 19, 20-year-olds that are kicking off, say, the last couple of years when the market's been booming, and now we start to see a bit of a shift in how things are headed. Interested on if you can sort of rewind around, you kicked off when the market was pretty hot.
Yep.
And then from 07 to about 11, 12 through a GFC, it was pretty lean pickings, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very challenging through that period. Definitely, I well, obviously Rudd put the stimulus package through in 09. That was like a Band-Aid effect. But we could really feel it about around about the second quarter of 2010. That's when you could really feel the market starting to contract and the market softening. But I think for any young agent moving forward, any variables around market conditions over the next few years, it's more about just upskilling your craft, changing your language, getting ahead of the curve, and you know, the thing that really resonates with me, and it's not what we love about our job, but sometimes you've got to deliver the bad news, and it's with empathy though. So as long as new agents can get their head around that and they can service their clients well, they can give all the facts, all the evidence of where the market is, and they can do it in an empathetic way when required with a client. That's what it takes to succeed in a changing market.
It's a really interesting one, as I said, as markets shift and whatnot. If you could go back in time to Dowker and the fresh Ray White days, is there anything you would change or any piece of advice you could give to agents that you might have changed?
Yeah, I'd say just always keep your energy up, keep fit, keep healthy. Everything starts in the mirror. I mean, we always have challenging times where we might doubt ourselves, but if something happens really successful now with me, I don't get overexcited, and if something goes against us, I don't dwindle on it. Like, we just try and move on as quickly as possible. Whereas years ago, we might get overexcited with a sale, and then if something doesn't go our way, it might get you down in the dumps for a bit more longer than what it should. But I would just say, look, just keep on a good level plane. Keep your frequency high, keep your energy high. I love yoga, surfing, or your health and wealth. Health is wealth in this game. Everything starts in the mirror. So if you can keep your headspace right, keep your health right, keep exercising, that'll contribute a long way to your success in business as well.
Such great advice. Keen to hear, most people in real estate, and if you're interested in real estate on the Gold Coast, know Troy Dowker under the Koloshi brand. But as you said, mate, you kicked off under Ray White in 2003. Just run us through how long you were with Ray White and what were your times like under that banner?
Yeah, we had a great success through the Ray White brand. I'm really very close with Brian, who's the chairman, and his son Dan. It was about 16 and a half years, so October 2003 to February 2020. Had a lot of great successful years, even through the GFC, and they've got great platforms. They've got awesome resources, especially for any young agents looking to get in the industry. I think they do provide those platforms and resources where people can upskill, learn their craft, build a great business model. It is one of the better brands, or the best brand, premier brand overall, and the biggest in Australasia for a reason. But yeah, we had a lot of great friends there, still there, and a lot of good memories.
And was it more of a you just sort of felt you can take your business to another level at a different brand, or was it just more seeing where the market is, or you just wanted, or is it just like sport? Like, mate, it is what it is. You're an athlete, and we both play high level sport. You go where opportunity lies and where you got to put yourself first.
Yeah, look, there's a combination of factors there. Absolutely. Michael, who at Koloshi, where I am now, he's a great mentor, and his commercial acumen is exceptional. And I wanted to learn more, and certainly work with a high net worth pool as well through buyers and sellers. So that was the main sort of contributing factors to my decision.
It's I was just going to say, it's a really interesting one there, that you see this in all facets of business. The ones who are really successful are the ones who keep learning.
Yeah.
So there's, Troy's career, he could have easily taken the back seat and knows it all kind of thing. But I love how he said there he wanted to keep learning after such a successful period at Ray White. It's that's a really key tip there for anyone looking to get into the industry is forever learning, you know. So also one thing I noticed, and I remember when we were sales agents around, our businesses started doing really well as agents when we sort of narrowed in on a patch. This is a big one I find as a buyer's agent now. I noticed the key agents are the ones who dominate a niche or a patch. Yep. That's what I'm finding. They're volume agents because they're narrow in. Obviously, beach run and sort of you dominate a certain sector, even price point now. What's your advice to those agents who are trying to, you know what I mean? Like, when did you think I got to niche down into a certain patch or stay away from taking on a listing that probably doesn't suit where I want to go?
Yeah, I think you've got to focus on an area that you love and where your lifestyle, what resonates with you, what relates to you, where you can sort of be part of the fabric. For me, like I live in Currumbin, so it was easy for me to make the decision. When I started the Ray White, I was out the back of Burleigh Waters, a Varsity Lakes area. Yep. And then I just made the conscious decision. I got a listing in Woodgie Street, Currumbin.
Oh, spot.
And I signed that up I was just over 12 months in. I signed it for auction in December 2004, and I auctioned it in January 2005. And we had about 12 bidders, and it just went off like a frenzy. And I just went, I don't know what I'm doing at Burleigh Waters and Varsity Lakes. They're nice areas, but I just went, look, this is where I live. This is where I love. This is where I know everyone. This is the lifestyle that, you know, that appeals to me. And then you can relay that to a purchaser. You know, you connect better with a purchaser. You can connect better with a seller. So that just made it was just a logical choice for me to focus on that area and grow my business from Burleigh Heads to Coolangatta.
It's, for those that don't know, you know, if you live at the central Gold Coast or northern end, might not understand. But if you live at the southern end of the coast, like the three of us do, you basically can't drive around without seeing a Troy Dowker Koloshi sign, or if you haven't seen it, you've had your eyes closed. Dowks, I've always admired from afar your ability to list and sell beachfront stuff, but also knowing what you stand for in and around. Probably not taking on listings that other agents would because it doesn't actually fit the brief or fit like what Srams are saying around you really niching down. Can I just ask you, mate, how hard was that as your journey went on to actually say no to listings that commercially is going to put money in your pocket, but from a brand point of view doesn't really align with where you want to go?
Yeah, no, good question. That's really about, you don't want to dilute your brand. So if you've got a clear vision on how you want to look and grow your brand, grow your appeal, I refer a lot of that stuff on now. So I'll just refer them to an agent that I know they'll do the job.
Yep.
And generally the client's comfortable with that. So
it's such a good point. As I said, as a buyer's agent, I can see it firsthand, seeing every agent on the coast we deal with, the ones that do volume and are generally the ones who have adopt the same mindset.
Yep.
So it's a really good point there around somewhere where you feel comfortable and whatnot, and your network's your net worth, right?
Yes.
So sorry to drop the quote in, Crossy, but
it's only one. What are we, 20 minutes in? There's only been one.
And mate, what about and then in terms of just quickly on your mate, I see you at the beach here, mate, nice and early. You know, we're all morning people. Just an insight into, obviously I'd say you're in that top 1% of agents nationwide. You're obviously doing habits, and your habits are fine. Can you give insight, like any habits you got that you do, whether it's the nighttime, the daytime, whatever, like any habits you adopt?
Absolutely. I love hot yoga.
Big Bikram.
Jeez, that's a tough gig.
It's not. I've had a rest just recently, but they moved away from the Bikram for certain
certain reasons.
Certain reasons. But it's at Burleigh, but I find that very beneficial. It's like a source of meditation as well, and obviously seen you meditate down the beach at 13th Ave there at Palmy a few times, and doing your hot yoga in the sun. But,
did he have a shirt on?
No, he had his shirt off.
Yeah, what a surprise!
He was all up and everything.
Had the baby oil.
But surfing and I think anything that's that makes you happy, you have to do, because at the end of the day, if you're focused on business and you need that release, so whatever's going to make you happy is you want to do that in your spare time and get that sort of, well, you don't get balance in your life, but that spare time that you do get, take advantage of that.
And, I was going to ask you, Dax, just on the balancing thing, because mate, you've got a young family, number of kids, very busy career. How do you find that time as far as balancing a bit of Troy time with obviously your family commitments and your kids, whether they're doing sport or whatever they're doing, plus being a real estate agent, you're on call all the time, mate. How do you manage that?
It's very challenging. I need 30 hours in a day. Actually.
Yeah.
No, it's a tough gig. It really is. My wife's amazing. She's very supportive. She works hard as well. So the kids are, I didn't sign up for 3, but it just happened. But look, we like any family, you have your moments, and you go, sometimes you just sort of go, wow, it's hard, but you just get in, you grind away, do the best you can, and everything works out. So,
is there any system or process sort of hacks or productivity hacks for? You're best agent in Australasia. What sort of productivity hack can you give for how you run a business?
Build relationships, provide value, be consistent. Consistency is key.
Yeah, love that.
So, the more people you can connect with, talk to on a regular basis, provide value to them. I love the saying, the day you plant the seeds, the day you plant the seeds, not when you eat the fruit. So, you can plant it today, you might eat the fruit in 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years. So it's just a matter of, having the systems in place, having the processes in place, and just focus on the fundamentals that can help you grow your business.
Just on that, that's a really, really good point. Have you ever tracked around day one when you plant the seed to whatever day it is where you've actually done business with a client? We all know that there are different times. Have you ever looked at a numbers game, like average that out and come up with something that you might think, well, on average, if I build a relationship or start one today, in 4.5 years, I'm doing a deal?
Yeah, I think I haven't measured it, but I think it'd be somewhere in that 3 to 4 year range.
Wow.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting, because like as Shrams knows, I do like a lot of rugby league coaching, and I talk a lot about playing the long game. In games, inside an 80 minutes, there's still a long game that needs to be played.
Yep.
In a career in real estate, that's magnified dramatically. So people coming in starting now hear that and they go, well, I'm playing the long game. I'm going to talk to this guy now, and hopefully next year I'll have a deal. Like, it doesn't work like that, does it? Like, what are you saying? Like 3 to 4 years.
Yeah. I, from what I sort of what I would measure, but look, I think every interaction you have is an opportunity. And look, whether in the street, whether you're getting a salad sandwich from the cafe or a coffee, or where you're coming out of the surf, you're talking to someone in the surf. Walking on the beach, you're at the footy at a Titans game, whatever it is, every interaction's an opportunity, and you never know where that may lead. And if you can leave a really good impression and create that great connection and build that relationship, that's the important part.
Yeah, what I'm picking up there is not so much thinking transactional mindset. It's more around add value, leave a good energetic impression, and then let's stay consistent with it. So that's a really good point. I find a lot of agents, especially when they start, are thinking transactional mindset, where you hear it there from one of the best around play the long game, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. So I just had a look at some stats, Dax, before today. I think your average sale price last year was 3.1.
That's correct.
Is that where it landed? Yeah, 3.1 million. So obviously we've seen the last couple of years the market improve dramatically, and you've seen it. There's no better person to comment on it than yourself with that beachfront market, Jefferson Lane, Burleigh South. How's that holding up right now, given there's a few little headwinds that people are talking about, even though a lot of that is just really consumer sentiment? How's it holding up now, and what do you foresee sort of in the short to medium term?
Look, certainly think prices are very stable right now. I think that's we haven't really seen any contraction. We've seen the quality buyers out there are still strong. It's just the quality of those. So the buyer pool has diminished somewhat.
Yeah.
But there's still good quality buyers out there that have a great appetite to purchase. They've got a lifestyle they want to succeed in and achieve, and they've got their goals. So really, that's where we come in and obviously help. as agents. We want to help anyone with their lifestyle needs and goals. Where do I see it in the future? It's obviously that's crystal ball gazing, but I think if you look at history, every market's cyclic. I think we're in very healthy shape here, the Gold Coast as a whole. Obviously, one because of interstate migration and expats, and as far as a lifestyle country, we tend to have or are renowned as having the best country, and the Gold Coast, Queensland, Northern New South Wales as the best part of Australia, or arguably, but we can all vouch that it is. But I think it's healthy, even if the market does come back 5-10%. I think that's healthy if it does in due time. It'll just help. Every market does that over time, and it just puts us in better shape. Obviously, a bigger the boom, you're susceptible to a bust,
bigger drop,
bigger bust. So,
just on that, I remember I bumped into Dowks, and I've sponged the dialogue. I use it all the time, but can you just go over quickly the analogy of chasing the tail? I really like that, and I use it all the time, and people really resonate when I say it. I actually got it from Dowks, but can you just explain what you've seen in your experience in regards to chasing the tail buyer and then chasing the tail with the vendor?
Yeah, so with the buyer, obviously when the market dynamic grows, buyers will bid at an auction, they'll get outbid, or they'll make an offer on a property, they'll get outbid, and they'll miss by just the slightest of margins. And as the market dynamic grows, the buyers can't actually keep up with it because it's accelerating that quick. And we really experienced that from sort of August 2020 up until just recent.
Just recent, yeah.
With the frenzy in the market. So quite often buyers will end up, they'll be in the market for 3 to 6, 9 months. They'll have a lot of buyer fatigue. They'll be exhausted, and eventually they'll land and convert, and they'll be successful with acquiring a purchase. But they'll end up spending a lot more than when they could have bought sort of 6 to 9 months ago. So they effectively what they do is they chase the tail of the market up. What we saw in the GFC is you would give a seller an offer, and then it would be unacceptable. They would reject that, and they would sell for less 3 or 6 months later, and they would chase the tail because the market was contracting. So if you asked me that question 30 years ago, it would have been a bit different. It makes sense today.
That's wisdom at the end of the day, isn't it? Isn't it? And the key tip there is as buyers, I've seen it firsthand so many times. Like buyers generally in a really upswing market, they'll looking at sales, whether it was 1 to 3 months prior, where in a really quick market, as you know, Troy and Crossy, like sometimes the sales exceeding, you can't be really looking at 3 months ago because, and people are quantifying value on a pre-existing sale price. So I've seen that big time, especially on the buyer's side. I'd run into buyers 12 months later, 8 months, they're still looking, but they've gone to the broker and asked for X amount more. So big tip there is obviously continue to keep track on the market, chat to agents out there, chat to professionals within the space to get on ground knowledge, because quantifying value is a big one. Would you agree? Just for the consumer to understand from a base level.
Absolutely. And we like to get ahead of the curve, so we're always measuring the key metrics, being on the coalface. So it's great that we can do that when we're working on the coalface day in, day out. I think we're in for an exciting few years ahead, and I think a few agents may leave the industry, but we see that through the cycle change as well.
Yeah, it tends to sort itself out, doesn't it? With the cycles, people sort of come and go for different reasons. But before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you about working now at Koloshi, because looking from the outside in, like it just looks like an absolute force of nature. That office, it's just getting bigger all the time. It's such a well-known brand. Michael Koloshi, one of the most well-known and respected, I guess, figures on the Gold Coast. What's it like day to day, week to week in that office? I'm imagining like there's a lot of sort of alpha males, I suppose, in there. A lot of people doing deals, doing very big numbers. What's sort of the office dynamic working Koloshi?
Michael's big on culture.
Yep.
Culture, attitude, and he's got very, very, very high standards. which is great, and that's why the business is succeeding so well, because of those certain expectations on everything. But he's upscaled, the business upscaled and the brand's upscaled quite heavily in the last sort of 12, 15 months. And there's been a few little teething problems that comes with upscaling, but they've handled it very, very well. There's great hierarchy there with Luke and Renee and Raj, and Raj has just joined us recently, but they're expanding. They're getting key people in key positions as they upscale. So, it's an exciting brand to be involved with, and, I'm certainly growing and improving my commercial acumen and business acumen, and nothing is as constant as change. So we're really excited about the next few years and where the brand's headed.
To use another rugby league analogy, Shrams, Dax, do you feel like you've taken your game to another level under Koloshi?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's Michael's been a great influence. He's a great mentor. And even some of the other agents in there, we have a senior agents meeting, 9 a.m. every Thursday, which we had one yesterday morning, and we sit in there, we chew the fat, we bounce ideas off each other. Something that may work for someone, well work for someone. We share that idea on how we can implement it into our own business. So, we're always aiming to improve, constantly raising the bar. Complacency is what kills you in this game. So you really want to just keep on improving and have an open mind moving forward to build your business.
And your EBU now, like how's you got a few on your team now? How's that dynamic look like? Like just so people can understand at your level, what's an EBU for a number one agent in Australia look like?
Yeah, we have Cole's my client services manager, so she handles all the admin tasks, marketing submissions, vendor reports, and she'll communicate quite heavily with both my sales associates. One does buyer management, one does more seller management, nurturing the pipeline, etc. So for team of 4, the girls predominantly work Monday to Friday. And James Roberts, who was an Olympic swimmer, he joined our team last August. That's when we expanded from a team of 3 to a team of 4.
Was he brand new to real estate?
He was, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So he's doing really well.
Good team to come into, just quietly.
JR's doing really well. He's keen to learn. He rolls his sleeves up. He gets in. He works hard, and brings all the team members bring the positive attitude each day. They're really, really good. So I think it's just important to get the right people in your team, and they have the right attitude. You can always, I touched on it earlier, you can always teach skill, but attitude and energy is the two key attributes that I look for when employing a new team member.
And just quickly on that, because I love like the business when you're scaling, and something I learned in business, always focus on your big rocks and stay laser focused on the important things. And for you as an agent, what would you say you're most focused on? Is it sort of the negotiation, the execution of the deal? Like for any agents out there, what's your main focuses as a leader within your own EBU?
Yeah, so they're the dollar productive activities. Talking to buyers, sellers, negotiate, listing presentations, nurturing the pipeline. They're pretty much the key areas of focus.
Yeah, and outsource the rest. Eh?
Yep.
Yeah. Just while we're on that, can I ask, mate? As you said, you live at Currumbin.
Yep.
Offices at Broadbeach. How often are you in the office? How much time do you spend in the office? For any agents that are sort of listening that feel like they've got to be in the office all the time or on the road all the time, what's your sort of balance there?
Yeah, we're about to move office actually in a couple of months, but and I'll probably spend a bit more time in there just due to the size at the moment. But I tend to work from home a lot. I can focus a lot more there and be a lot more productive. I go in there a few days a week.
Yep.
But we have regular WIP meetings, work in progress meetings.
Yep. We
have them most days, and then we'll just run through everything. They can take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, and then we just everyone knows their tasks and what to do, and so we can tick the boxes and make sure we'd have a productive day and there's minimal leakage.
Minimal leakage.
Yep.
I was just going to say, so mate, as you said, you're 49. You'll raise the bat next year for the half ton.
Yeah.
Have you thought about what's ahead, what the future is, how much longer you want to do it for. Obviously, mate, you're in sort of that sweet spot at the moment where things are really humming along. But as we alluded to, kids are going to get older. There'll be more extracurricular activities. Has Troy Dowker set a bit of a timeline on what you want to achieve over the next few years?
I think I'll be still going hard for the next few years, absolutely. But knowing that international travel's opening up, there'll be a lot of snowboarding and surfing in there and family holidays. So I think it's important for anyone out there to smell the roses. You know, quite often you can get caught on the treadmill, and it's important to get off it. So I'm a big one. I mean, I'm going to Fiji next Tuesday. Got a week booked in Queenstown and snowboarding and some heli skiing in August, and then I'll start planning my holidays next year. So I think planning's key, and then you've got to have your time off. So I've always been a big advocate of that.
Big takeaway there. It sounds like balanced energy management and planning, like from your WIP meetings to having the team. So it's not rocket science, is it? It sounds like you're super consistent with it over the odd years you've done it.
Much harder than rocket science.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of being just having all your systems and planning in place and executing, and having the right people in your surrounds and in your team. Culture, energy, all those types of things. Everyone knowing their specific tasks and their job description, and being accountable for what they do.
And just before we duck into the fast five, we'll hit them with it. Mate, what about buyers? Now the market's sort of shifting now. Is there any tips you can give the buyers around this sentiment change and where you think the market's going?
Just buy for your lifestyle needs, and if you can afford it and can service the debt, that's all you need to worry about. Two things: lifestyle needs, and if you can afford it, buy it.
Do the numbers.
The best time to buy is when you can afford it, right?
There's another one.
Yep.
That's it.
What do you reckon? Just throw your short ball, give him a fast five?
I reckon there'll be some good answers in this.
Yeah, interested.
With his background and his travel.
Yeah.
Over time. So here we go.
Mate, it's first thing that comes to mind, any dwelling type anywhere in the world. So the first one's, mate, holiday home. Where's the holiday home? You might have one already. I don't know. Who knows?
Three.
Where's the holiday home in the world?
If I had a holiday home, I would... I'd put that in the French Alps.
Oh, right.
Really? We haven't had that one before.
Interesting.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But you seem like you're into your snow and
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In the French
It's
Alps.
snowboarding is just as good as surfing. Especially when you get fresh snow and you're riding powder. It's incredible.
Yeah. What about how long you been married for?
2008.
Yeah. So pre-wedding, just Dowks and his surfboard.
Oh, look out! This could be.
Where's the party house? Where's the party house? Anywhere in the world?
That was we had some pretty good times in Tenerife, Canary Islands.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
wow.
That's like that was the Bali of Europe
back
at that
in the
time,
day.
back in the mid-90s, before Ibiza.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Canary Islands.
Yeah, I did a snowboard season in Austria, 95, 96, and then a couple of mates of mine, one from Wollongong and a mate from Melbourne, a couple of mates from Melbourne. We met our mate in Wollongong there, but we went to London for a few days, and we just went to a travel agency and just looked at the map and just went randomly and we flew there and had the time of our lives.
Yeah, sort of half fluked it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really good.
Canary Islands.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Unbelievable.
Is it still all right? Like, do people still go? Like, do you know?
Yeah, it's not as obviously Ibiza's the place to go to in Europe now, but that was the sort of go-to place.
Yeah.
when we were there. So
okay.
Yep.
What about where's the investment property worldwide? A bit of cash flow, passive income. Where would you put your money?
If I had a choice, I'd go to New York.
Yeah. Someone else said that as well.
Yeah.
What is the highest per square meter in the world?
Real estate value.
Yeah, real estate value. Capital growth would be through the roof.
Amazing city too. If you've been there, it's the energy there is incredible.
Yeah, really.
It's like 240 volts. It's like it's amazing. Yeah.
Do you reckon you'd cut it there as an agent?
I'd love it. It'd be pretty challenging, but it'd be great. Yeah, I think I could absolutely.
I'd love to see like a documentary or something, right? I was thinking this the other day, like an agent in a country who's killing it. So, and then plant them in a new city, see the habits they do, like to try and build the business from scratch. I just think that'd be epic to see something like that. Hey,
It would be. I think, just thinking out loud, I think someone on $1 Million Listing, I remember watching a couple of years ago, might have done that. The Swedish guy might have gone to the States. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, to start from scratch with all your contacts and that you've had previously are irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because you're nowhere near them. So
that'd be unreal.
this bloke could probably pull it off.
Yeah, door knocking around New York there. And what about where's the retired family home? All the kids maybe out now, like just you and the wife retired home. Where would that be, you think?
In Australia, I like Noosa.
Yep, good spot.
Sunny Coast would be a good spot to put the feet up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, or somewhere down the North Coast, New South Wales, Yamba sort of area. That's got a great vibe down there too.
Yeah, it does.
It's getting busy now, Yamba.
Yeah.
I don't like it, Dowks. I'm not happy.
It's heating up, eh? Word's getting out. And mate, just lastly, what about just some last piece of advice for buyers out there in the marketplace?
Be confident, go hard. Life's short. Enjoy it. And as I was saying before, buy for your lifestyle needs. If you can afford it, service the debt. Just get in and take a long-term view.
Being confident's a funny. It's it is true that. Hey,
yeah.
I've dealt with a lot of buyers who end up engaging with it. They just didn't have the confidence. Like that it's sometimes it's a big thing buying property, but you're right. If you do the work and you find out what you can borrow and you can be confident, have a crack.
Be well prepared.
Prepared, yep.
So you can negotiate from a position of strength.
Yeah, that's great advice.
It's a Dowks goal to finish on, eh?
Yep.
Wow. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Good on you, mate.
Great to catch up, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers.